I have a question for all of you, and I promise you it is not rage bait. It's not for engagement. In fact, if the answer is the answer I'm worried about, it actually would hurt the channel. So it's not something that I want to see in any way, shape, or form. But in everything we've experienced with the WNBA and what we've seen early in this season, you heard me talk about this last year with a lot of the stuff the Fever were doing and what Stephanie White was doing with Caitlin Clark, and how, well, the Caitlin Clark effect, the Caitlin Clark phenomenon is so huge that even if there is people that pull back, whether it's for, chinks in the armor in terms of her straddling and maybe sometimes crossing that line and saying certain things that get political and some people pulling away, or it's the fact that she's being used in a way that is not the Caitlin Clark that drew people to the game, so they no longer are interested in watching. And I said, well, even though I can tell there are people pulling back and there may be someone who leaves, Caitlin Clark is so huge that there won't be a way to prove it because will sound insane if you go to a game, look at ratings for a regular season game and it's 1.8 million, and we're like, well, yeah, but it should be 2.5, and it would be if people hadn't left. And they're like, it's 1.8 million, and I completely get that. But my question being, because of what I'm seeing now, where I feel like you can actually see and quantify that pullback, which is terrifying. My question to all of you is, has Caitlin Clark peaked? Sounds crazy, right? Now, of course, I'm not talking about her play. She's entering her third season. Although, if she goes down that road of idolizing Stephanie White and continuing to naively believe Stephanie White has her best interest at heart and making her a better player, then we have to revisit that. But I'm talking about the Caitlin Clark effect, the Caitlin Clark hysteria. I almost feel like, anyone ever see This Is Spinal Tap? Right? And it's at that mockumentary, and they go on the tour, and then, tickets aren't selling, and gigs are getting canceled, and they're playing smaller venues and all of that. And it's kind of like, it's like the boy bands, right? When boy bands were big, and they're sell millions of records, and they have these huge crowds at their tours, and then they get a little older, fans are moving on, their next tour hits, those sold out crowds, not really sold out anymore, right? They're kind of limping through the tour to get to the end of it. Again, maybe gigs get canceled. And it's like, is that where we're headed with Caitlin Clark? Because again, people want to spin it, but the ratings for that, I haven't seen any since any since, but the ratings for that first preseason game in Ion were not good. People say, oh, preseason when we look at ticket sales. But again, if you go back to 24 and 25 and compare, it's been a struggle. I believe there are season ticket packages available for the Indiana Fever, which were sold out long before the season started in 24 and 25. Well, maybe not 24. I'm sorry. I take that back. They probably got snatched up quick because I'm sure plenty were available even during the season, like the shortened season ticket, season ticket packages. Because you got a lot of people taking the wait and see approach. They're like, hey, I don't know if Caitlin's going to play, but also, even if she is, I'm not paying $3,000 for tickets and travel and all of that to take my couple of kids 3 states over and then watch her stand in the corner and be off the ball, or watch teammates like Kelsey Mitchell never pass to her. No one wants to watch that. That's not the Caitlin Clark that they fell in love with as a player that they enjoy watching. And so no one's so invested that if Caitlin Clark becomes a regular WNBA player, that they're going to keep watching. And so I just realized I've been going on, and I was actually wanted to react to a clip, but we're going to dig into it now. Now, I need some of you to step back from your preconceived notions, because I know Jason Whitlock is like a lightning rod, okay? And I get it, man. But again, I try and be fair. He's got some takes on sports in general that I'm like, yeah, man, you nailed it. That is 100% right. And he's also got some takes where I'm like, you have lost your mind. How are you allowed to speak into a microphone? You know what I'm saying? So I think he has some interesting points here that I wanted to chime in on as well, and I'm curious what you all think because this is kind of for me. It seems like a make or break year. If we don't get the Caitlin we know on the court, I'm not so sure a lot of fans are going to continue to stick around.
Was so strong that even in an exhibition game against Nigeria, they had been selling out the arena, or that the arena should have been packed. This is an ominous sign. I told you guys earlier about how they were struggling in comparison to last year and the year before to sell season tickets. I think the Indiana Fever and the WNBA have diminished the star power of Caitlin Clark. You've probably seen the NBC commercials promoting their coverage of the WNBA, and they featured and centered around Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, and Paige Beckers.
Which goes into the video I did yesterday when I talked about what you saw with the Indiana Fever and their promotion and selling. You have the face of the league, you have the one player that is responsible for your existence. And you do like a minute long promo begging for people to buy tickets to a game less than a week away, which is the home opener, with a healthy Caitlin Clark who hasn't played since July, that's still not sold out, that has some low price tickets available as well, and you don't feature Caitlin Clark.
No Caitlin Clark. The reason for the season can't get promoted by NBC. Caitlin Clark is the business. You're undermining the business by destroying Caitlin Clark's star power and trying to build around. We got a whole team, and everybody's a part of this. It's not the way men operate. It's not the way the NBA has operated. When they discover a star, a Magic Johnson, a Larry Bird, an Isaiah Thomas, a Michael Jordan, an Allen Iverson, LeBron James, they lean into that star power to draw in the rest of the fan base. The WNBA has done the exact opposite, and it's now starting to show up. They are succeeding in killing Caitlin Clark because they don't care. The momentum.
100% they don't care. And also 100%, again, basic marketing. I think I mentioned this in another video. Caitlin Clark is the reason for the league doing what it's doing right now. It's the reason that they're overpaid now. All of these players are overpaid. I don't want to hear that they're not. Caitlin Clark got them overpaid. She's the reason they're making money. She's the reason people are tuning into games. And he's absolutely right. All other leagues lean into their stars. Leagues are massive because of casual fans. You get those hardcore fans that are always there, but for leagues to be massive like the NFL, it is the casual sports fan that tunes in on a regular basis. You know what they tune in for? A great entertaining product, and they tune in for stars. And I've mentioned this before in like golf and tennis, and why they have a lot more ebbs and flows, because I think they have those time periods where they don't have those charismatic stars at the top of the game. When they do with the NBA, they do with the NFL. It means you lean into them 100%. You get their face everywhere, and you capture the attention and the imagination of the casual fan. And the WNBA is doing the exact opposite of that. They want you to almost believe Caitlin Clark isn't even in the league, but hey, we're great. We're a great league. We've got a great product. Look at these awesome players that, although they're completely unlikable and are trash on the court, we want you to be pretend. We want to manipulate you into believing that they're actually good, and you should tune in anyway.
That this league had is about to be destroyed because one, they won't promote Caitlin Clark. They've constructed a team in Indiana that won't highlight or showcase Caitlin Clark. And now the players, some of them are going to be getting paid 6 and 7 figure salary, high 6-figure, low 7-figure salaries. And you're going to be treated to one of the stars in the WNBA, Angel Reese, who is as unskilled a basketball player as I've ever seen. Yes, she can rebound. Yes, she can, but she is completely unskilled. No one wants to see this. No one wants to pay for this. These basketball players that play like Angel Reese are getting paid 7 figures.
Now, obviously, with the end there, when he went into the whole Angel Reese stuff, it is very clear that Jason Whitlock watches my videos because I just did that video, on Angel Reese having zero basketball skill at all. And you can see it. There's no improvement. She's a Make-A-Wish kid. She's completely uncoordinated. She's like a baby giraffe. Sid the Kid, Southside Sid, balling out, not in Stripperville. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I will leave you with this, folks. Saturday, May 9th. What's today? Tuesday. Game one last year, home opener. Or what? Not game one. Game one at home, the home opener. Sold out April 15th. Tickets, tickets, tickets. Look over to the right over here. Well, I guess I should share, right? There we go. I caught it this time. Over to the right. Now it's section 200, right? Which is up here. We got $35. These are $35 tickets. But if we go all along this, folks, 53 tickets, 51 tickets, 62 tickets, 14 tickets, 12 tickets. These are smaller sections, but also lower. Now the pricier too, right? But look, 20 tickets, 10 tickets, 10, 16, 6, 15, 8, 16. And this is all the way around. What about these tickets down here that are more expensive? Yeah, well, people don't want to buy them either. 21 tickets, 24 tickets, 25 tickets, 17 tickets, 26 tickets, right? Courtside tickets are still available. And there aren't a lot of those to begin with. But they're available everywhere. I can't find a section that is sold out. They don't even have tickets there. So yeah, I mean, that's clearly facts based when I look at home opener last year, home opener the year before, versus home opener this year. There is a clear difference in not just demand, but what we'll call the intensity of that demand, right? The intensity of that demand. Last year, a lot more intense. Again, sold out April 15th. Today is May 5th. Games May 9th. Still not sold out. And oh, by the way, Paige Beckers, right, who we keep getting shoved into our face today, try and make her one of the faces of the league, if not the face of the league, with her scissor friend, AZ Fudd, on the team as well. That game right there has the last four number one draft picks in the WNBA. Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd. Cannot. Now, my guess is eventually they'll sell out, but it also wouldn't put it past the Indiana Fever to get some corporations to buy up blocks of tickets so they can call it a sellout. They do that with books, by the way, too. You know, if you look at a lot of those New York Times bestsellers, especially the types of books that are like, oh, that's a book someone might put on their bookshelf as a virtue signal. Ain't no one buying that or reading it, though. Come on. That they'll get corporations that buy them in bulk and then give them away for promos and all that. And, oh, it's a New York Times bestseller. But that's another topic for another day, man. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you so much. Like, comment, subscribe, hype, notification bell. You know the deal. I will talk to you later.